What's up, everybody? It's Bebon, and can you believe it? It's been almost 2 years since I've last recorded a video. Holy crap. I actually recorded a couple of pub games, but I never really got around to uploading them because I didn't really feel like they were too funny, and I really wanted my pub games to be quite entertaining rather than just the usual. I'm playing Clockwork, I'm going in, I'm hooking, and then I die because I'm Clockwork. But I'm going to do a little brief video on TI6 and what I think will happen in the group stages, and then I'll spend the last couple of minutes talking about what I think I might do in the future. So I'll put a timestamp that can tell you where to skip if you want to skip all the TI talk and go right into what I might do in the future. So, as you all know, TI6 is here, the most wonderful time of year, and it's been pretty exciting thus far. Only the group stages, or only the wild cards have happened, and I won't do a video for every day of TI, and I don't even know if I'll do one for the final day of bracket. I probably will do one for the final day of bracket, or for the brackets, but I will not actively go through, and I will go back and maybe look at some drafts, but other than that, I don't plan to do too much TI6 content. There is a huge amount of content already on the TI6 stream and in the game itself. So the wild cards happened, and I did predict that Complexity as well as Ehom would make it through, but Complexity severely disappointed. And actually, if you watch that last game against Abed's Meepo, which was insane, I think the larger root of the problem was that Complexity just sort of forgot how to win. And that is very discouraging because they fought without BKB on the Shadow Fiend. They tried to take fights when Ember had free farm and he had his boots of travel, and then they said, alright, let's start fighting, guys, when Meepo's at a power spike and our Ember just got his split pushing on, because boots of travel helps you get into fights, but it doesn't actually help you get kills in a large 5v5 engagement. And when you're up against a Tidehunter, a Meepo, and a Silencer, they're going to group up and they're going to fight you 5v5. So I think the best option would have been to split push. Execration performed very well, but unfortunately they did not make it through. And Ehom and Escape, after a little bit of a couple of slip-ups, did make it through. So what does that mean? Well, unfortunately, I do not think either of those teams will get very far whatsoever. Both teams definitely showed some weakness, although Ehom clearly has more potential. So I'm going to take a quick look at the groups. I actually forgot how to alt-tab, but here are the groups. OG Alliance Wings Navi, EG, LGD, TNC, Escape on one side, and on the other side, Newbie, Secret, VGR, MVP, Phoenix, Digital Chaos, Fnatic, Liquid, and Ehom. So, just so you can see who I picked for my predictions, for team predictions. Actually, it's pretty funny, I haven't played like any Dota in the past month or so. I've mostly just been trying to figure out what to do as, with work and stuff. But anyways, enough about that. I'll go into that a little bit more detail. But I do think Team Liquid will win. Their performances against OG as well as Wings leave something to be desired, but I do think that they have the proper mindset to make it all the way. But that does not mean they'll win. In fact, this is probably the most open TI that we'll ever see, since we don't really have a clear view of who's going to come out on top. And even in the past TIs where we sort of knew that EG and Secret might do well, everything shifted in the blink of an eye. Anyways, just going to go back to the groups. So who do I think will win and who are some dark horses in the groups? I think OG will very likely make it out. And it's unfortunate, but I think these bottom three teams will not make it out because LGD lost a player in the visa process to get into the United States in September, who was probably one of the best players, a renowned Phoenix player, a ridiculous support player, and I don't think they'll make it out of groups and winners, even with the Zhao 8 factor, which is very disappointing. I think these top 5 teams have a very solid chance of making it out of the groups, but if I had to give the edge, I have to give it to OG as well as Wings. I think Navi has shown a lot of potential and a lot of consistency recently, but it'll be interesting to see what teams will do to game plan around Navi specifically. Yeah, we'll ban out Artstyle Chen, we'll ban out the Wisp, we'll do things like that, but I don't know if Navi showed too much of their cards in winning Star Ladder, and if teams will come up with game plan specifically to deal with Navi. I think the dark horses are Alliance and EG. Alliance I think they struggle a bit more against unknown teams, but they have much better results against known teams. And this is just my personal opinion. I do not have data backing this up. But I think they'll do quite well against the bottom three teams. And they'll only have to take a series against one of these top 5 teams in order to make it through. And I think they do have the potential to beat Wings or Na'Vi, since I think their style matches up quite well. You know, Alliance is one of the masters of delaying the opponent's team's game plan, getting them out of their comfort zone, and really disrupting what they do. And Wings, when they have a game plan, it can be a bit easy to disrupt, whether that be a Drow strat or a Slark strat or whatever strat they decide to pull out, because they are the masters of everything. Now, EG, I think most people would look at Starlight and say it was a disappointment, but I think EG were clearly not going to reveal all their cards at the tournament. They put an Oracle and an Ancient Apparition mid in 2 of their games, and if that says we're not going to show everything at this event, I don't know what will say that. So I think EG has a solid shot at making it out. They'll have to beat Na'Vi or Wings or Alliance in order to make it out. I think OG will come through at the top of the group, and it wouldn't be too difficult for them to do just that. You know, in Group B, I think Newbie, Team Secret, VGR unfortunately lost their offlaner, Yang, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it End? I think it's Yang. So I don't think they'll make it through. He is known as probably the best player in China. So Newbie will make it through. Liquid will make it through. And after that, it's a little bit of a crapshoot. Phoenix just won a LAN against CEDC in China, so they have a very likely chance of making it through as the 3rd seed. And then the fourth seed, it's probably going to be Team Secret, although I think Secret may have shown a little bit of their game plan. What Secret likes to do above all else is just to pressure the safe lane relentlessly, whether it be some Axe Abaddon dual lane, some Elder Titan Slardar dual lane, something like that can really help Bulba succeed and really just shut down the enemy team's safe lane and allow their own safe lane, or whether it be Arteezy or Eternal Envy, whoever gets that safe lane hero, to really just burst out and shine. But again, it'll be interesting to see if other teams have figured that out. Of course they've figured it out, but if they've found a solution to that, more likely. So we'll see. I don't think DC will make it out. If I had to guess who will take over Team Secret's 4th spot, it'll probably be Fnatic, as they've shown a decent amount of consistency. They always make it reasonably far, but never too far. And we'll see if this is the turn that they'll finally break through and dethrone one of the favorites. But just making my picks, I think Newbie, MVP Phoenix, Fnatic, as well as Liquid will make it through. And meanwhile, OG, Wings, EG, and Na'Vi will make it through. I think Alliance will have a bit too many 1-1s in order to make it through to the winner's bracket. And I do believe Liquid will take the whole thing home. But I think EG will make top 4, just because on the fact that they have a lot of experience on their side, and EG, you know, it's a little bit of a satirical response, but I think they really do learn best when they lose, and they've lost a lot recently. And once they get into the swing of things with Zai and find out what they want to do mid, they'll be a very difficult team to beat. But that's enough of TI talk. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I want to do in the future and how often that will come about. So I don't really know if I want to do too many more Dota 2 commentaries. Of course, I'd love to do them. I like doing Dota 2 commentaries, but there's so much of an oversaturation that there's only so much commentating you can take. So I'll take requests for specific Dota 2 games. I won't promise that I'll get to them, but I will take requests for specific Dota 2 games that you want me to cast. Please leave them in a response on my Facebook page, or tweet them to me at bball773 on both of those avenues, or put a message in the comments below. But what I've been thinking is that I'll try to go back to some old school Dota 1 replays, because that's really where I think I can do stuff that isn't really being fulfilled these days, because Dota 1 has been abandoned for the most part, and I like Dota 2 a lot, but there is some value in learning some of the history about Dota 1 and learning where these teams come from. I can also do research onto individual teams rather than just looking at the games, so that's what I've been thinking I might do. Now, I won't promise any sort of schedule on when these will come out. It'll mostly just come out on when I can find the time to do just such a thing. So it might be every Friday, it might be once every 2 weeks. I'll try to do at the very minimum one video every 2 weeks. And that's simply just because Dota replays as well as Dota games and Dota history takes so much time. And, I did this thing where I did 100 commentaries in 100 days, and I did a lot of games over the past, well, not recently, but in the first 2 to 3 years that I was doing this, I did so many games. And in the end, you do have to put some priorities, and it is a bit unfortunate that my school really altered the schedule, or else I would have loved to stream and try to become a live caster rather than just a replay caster, but my school schedule did not allow it because most of the Western games were during my school hours. So that's a bit disappointing since most of the games during that time was played in a European time zone, and now I've just been adjusting to life outside of school and doing things like that. And I can address some of these issues or not really issues, but some of these things in a question and answer session if that's what you want to hear. But at a certain point, you do have to say, I'm doing a lot of this and I love doing it, but I'm starting to get burnt out. And when I see, I don't really want to talk about it, but when I see the ad revenue, you have to start wondering, there's only so much you can do before it starts getting stale and you start to stop doing it every day. And I hit that point because at the end of the day, when you're getting $100 for putting out like 100 hours of content, that is per month, that is a ridiculously low amount. Well, I guess it's more like 30 hours, but there's research done before that. So, I hope to start becoming a bit more active, and I do think I'll do Dota 1 replays because there is such a drought in that market. And let me know what you want me to try to do. If you want me to do coaching or anything like that. I haven't really been playing Dota too much, but I've been following the competitive scene quite a bit. So please let me know what you want me to do. And again, I can't promise on when I'll put out these videos. I just want to say I really doubt this video will get too many views. But to the subscribers who have stayed around, thank you. I know a lot of people actually don't watch YouTube anymore, but I do appreciate the time to time I do get a couple comments and a couple things on my Facebook saying what's up. So I do appreciate that. It does make me feel missed. And hopefully you'll enjoy TI. I know I certainly will. And hopefully you'll enjoy what's in store for the future. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks.